Hey, what's poppin', gamers? Andy here with Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz. We're back again with another set review. We're doing Blue Bofuri this time. Here with Brian and Carmen, as usual, and special guest Brandon might be joining after dinner.
Yeah, he was summoned.
Word on the street.
Summoned to the food realm. May return later. But yeah, not a brainstorm this time, Andy. You can start.
Hell yeah! Is this Misery?
No, it's just Frederica.
Frederica.
Yeah.
Okay. When she's reversing battle, look at up to 3 cards from the top of your deck. Choose a climax from among them. Show it to your opponent. Put it in your hand. Put the remaining cards in your graveyard. And if you added a card, choose a card in your hand. Discard it. This is like Kome.
Yeah, it's on reverse Kome.
Yeah, and for 3.
On reverse is rough.
On reverse seems a little bit worse because you can't dig for climaxes on demand.
However, I still think this card is good because you have Ricky. So there are like 2 big cases for this card, right? You open not a climax because you have a good climax swapper in the set, right? You open not a climax. So your second turn, you still don't have your climax yet for your level 1. You like Ricky for this card, you run it out, gets reversed, like it's first deck, whatever. You either mill 3 clean, you don't get anything, or you mill 3, you get a climax, you add it, whatever. Like, you're going to eat damage on first deck anyway. It's not that big of a deal. Because you're going to follow it up with a mill out with Sally. The other case is you field 2 level 3 maples on your early play turn, and this is your third lane in an open lane. Or a lane that it can win or snipe somehow, or at very least side. And then your opponent runs it over, and you can loop back into a climax for your next turn, because you have no way to recur the choice combo of its own accord, because it's on a trigger you can't recur. You have to trigger a pants or do this, and those are your only 2 ways to get into a climax to recur it and keep it up. So I think that makes this card better than it probably reads, because I think a lot of people would see on reverse Kome, and I think we already have a very long, almost meme tier argument about on death Kome and how that can be a liability if you're trying to get into a climax and you're trying to use it for mill. On reverse is just like the worst possible timing ever, for the effect. Even I can't defend that. Like even I won't chill for that as much as I love this character.
Yeah, on the on reverse, it's not the greatest timing, but I like that this is at least a level 0.
Yes, it is level 0.
I think I still like this a little bit better than the darkness.
Yeah, you don't have
for
to
the sheer fact that this is level 0.
You don't have to devote to yellow or like an off color. Someone would consider an off color to play it. So I like it.
This is a brand new profile, right?
I believe so.
I don't think Kome's ever been on reverse before.
So 2,500 stat line too. That's like
fine.
Yeah, it's.
I don't know, because if your opponent wants to deny you, this is pretty big, so it's actually winning combat.
Well, they could always side it if they wanted to deny.
And they can always just side it too, so they can just deny the effect on it. If you would have to crash this into something.
Yeah,
which might not actually be easy if it's you have to do it like a whole turn in advance.
Yeah, then the timing's awkward for you, and it's.
Yeah, I was just presenting ways.
The darkness.
Yeah, I was just presenting ways you could.
The darkness.
Ways you could use the card. I still think it can be a little awkward. When I was running this card and I was seeing success, I was using it only in those 2 scenarios, and I was only running 2 of it. those were the only scenarios that I played the card in. Other than that, it felt pretty bad at higher counts.
I don't know if I like that you have to crash it in on your turn into one of their oversized threats.
To guarantee it, yes.
Yeah, you have to take the initiative and crash it. Because on your opponent's turn, they can just deny it. They can just side you.
If your opponent gives you a plus, though, maybe that's fine.
It's not a real. Well, I guess so. In that case, you are getting a plus, but then the whole point is you want to dig for your climax combo.
True.
But I mean, you could always just clock and draw it at that point.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird card to evaluate for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems maybe Brian's right. I think it's like maybe a C plus. It's like
I don't think it's much better than a C plus.
I think the reverse is just it's just too awkward.
I'm giving it the B minus just because it's really the only thing that I felt made the choice maple worth playing, because the recurring was the problem.
Yeah,
You had ways to get the maple back out onto the field with the Conade, but if you didn't like trigger pants, like you were just high and dry without climax without this card.
yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, despite the fact that the timing is awkward, this is a way to get into a climax that you can climax swap into the climax you need.
And
Yeah, maybe we all might be underrating it. You know, it could turn
Yeah.
out to be really good. This might be like an A tier card or something, but like my knee jerk reaction is like C plus.
Yeah, mine too.
the big thing was like, and how it was like explained to me. I think Patrick actually brought this up, and we were all like looking at the card and like discussing how it could be played. If you're playing a Neg Soul Wall, you don't care about like milling climaxes from your second deck if this is your third lane, because you're not expected to take more than 1 damage in a lane anyway. So like you're mitigating damage by Neg Souling versus canceling. So like milling into your deck on second deck to like get a climax, any climax to try to recur your Neg Soul is like fine at that point in the game. And on first deck, it's just like it's a total fucking randomizer. It's a total crapshoot.
Yes, but
Right.
how are you even setting that up? Like, how is your opponent? If you're having these big ass soul walls that are living, how is your opponent having a field?
Well, no, this is your third lane because you always go for 2 maples. Because any more and you don't have stock and you don't have hand to do anything else.
But,
Right.
okay, I mean, but why would I crash into this?
Well, why? Yeah, why would you? That's the
I mean,
that's the problem.
it's like definitely like
You
a
don't,
bait
yeah.
play. You'll definitely catch people with it. Like,
Yeah.
let's say Carmen, you're playing me, and your field is 2 maples and one of this.
Oh yeah, like and if I'm sitting there and I haven't already added a choice back to my hand and I'm not obviously out of like a choice already to slam down the next turn, you after if you
Yeah,
didn't do any
it's like
damage in the other
the-
2 lanes, you'd be pretty dumb to like give your opponent a way to get a climax,
Just
right?
crash into this, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something that'll catch people, though. Like, people will be like, "Oh, I'm bigger than it," and I go for the reverse, just like out of
Or
habit.
if you have a lane you could
people.
crash with the maple. You could crash it in your third lane
But
because
then you're just even getting farther and farther ahead at that point because they're too afraid to attack your level 0 Frederica.
yeah, true.
And they just let you.
Maybe
You're already
that-
plussing your other 2 lanes. They're plussing. You bait them into letting you plus in this lane now. That's dirty.
Maybe the
Yeah,
catch-22 situation is like a fine case for it, and that's what makes it good.
Mhm.
Like in
Possibly.
in those scenarios specifically, your opponent's like caught in between a rock and a hard place, where they don't
But
want to
then
give you a
you
climax.
need to make this live back though, because
Yes.
you'd be swinging under their lane with this most likely.
Yep,
But I mean, if you're slamming a climax with a maple combo, you could like side their level 1.
yep, yeah.
That's fine.
I've done that
Uh-huh.
before already. Decide like a leftover combo piece, then let them run it back over or choose to give me a plus in that lane. But yeah, I only bumped it up to B- because of that. I think it's like it's one of the only ways you have in this entire set to get into a climax because you don't have a Kazuma.
Yeah.
This set would have really loved a Kazuma.
It's gonna be like a couple months from now, or like half a year down the line, right? And like the Japanese tournament results are gonna go up, and we're all gonna be like, "Oh my god, this card's so broken!
Yeah.
I can't believe it's on like a choice list with 4 other cards. They should have just hard banned it."
Something like that, right? All right.
Yeah.
Next card.
All right, Sally combo. 104k. When you play a climax, it goes up to 7k, 8k with the pants here. When this card attacks, if the pants is in your climax area, perform the cigarettes effect. Mill 2, add the levels of those 2 cards together, and salvage a character whose level is the sum of those cards you milled or lower.
You know, I never thought I'd say it. I'm really sick of smoking cigarettes. I wish they would print something else, but like it's good. It's selective. It's on attack. It's a premium climax combo.
Swings at 8k.
Bait also got it. Like everything gets cigarettes these days. And good profile. It's a good card.
Yeah, it's kind of boring, but yeah, it's
Is this extra 1,000 power on top really worth like not doing anything? Just being a 104k if you don't slam a climax makes the card
Maybe.
totally dead.
Going into like standby meta, where
Mm-hmm.
you know, people are playing these fucking 1075s or like
Yeah.
buying out these 7k, 8k cards, like actually being able to like force them to use the backups relevant.
Yeah. This sucks. It doesn't do anything without the climax because there what is that? I think the Umi in Summer Pockets is this, but it's just 7k on turn. But it also is like an on reverse climax combo instead of on attack, so it's probably how it's balanced.
Yeah, I mean the fact that this kills almost anything at level 1 with a climax and is a selective on attack combo, I think makes it good enough to see play.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is
Mhm.
like the level 1 that you would want to go to, because the
Yeah.
yellow level 1 is a meme. Unfortunately. This is,
Yeah, cigarettes are in, man.
yeah.
2020, cigarettes are in, dude.
They build strong bones. Good for kids. That's not true. That's a joke. Do not quote me on that. Next card. We got this Kanade. 4 more game characters, early play, normal heal. On play, gain 2k that turn only. He's a 9k.
And normally these cards gain 2k cross turn until the end of the first turn that it was played. So this is
It'd be the Toka is a 10-5 cross turn. He's an 8-5 who gets cross turn 1 turn cycle 10-5.
If it's a 9k or something, usually they get like, usually it's like a 95 or a 9k that gets 500 per other character or something on your turn.
Oh yeah,
or
on
they
your
like
turn.
11k on turn.
Yeah, this always gets 2,000 power the turn you play it, but
I think it's fine. Like
it's fine.
It's another early play healer.
It's an early play healer.
Yeah, with a good condition. So it's
Notably, because the other early play healer like chooses a character and heals it to bottom deck. This is like one of the only heals in the set that can heal a climax off. like one of the only ones. Like I was experiencing, I had to put this because I cut this from my standby deck to play like a greedier lineup, right? Because I was saying like, oh, like the other maple's just better, like the green one. But like you get into these situations where like God forbid you refresh point climax, or like you have to clock a climax because you're gonna heal, where like you can't because you're a standby deck, you don't have a lot of hand. You want to be able to like clock and then heal off a climax, right? If you have to. And because like the green one can't do it, like this card is weirdly at a premium to be played. Very strange, but like it ends up playing out that way.
I feel like you'll play it because it's an early play healer with a good condition. But as far as early play healers with good conditions go, this is like the worst one.
Hella underwhelming.
It's just fine. Yeah.
You'll play it,
just good.
You'll be a little bit longing for another. Man, I wish I was playing such and such card instead.
Yep, I wish I was. I dream of mesmerizing water goddess.
If only.
Yeah, can't all be mesmerizing. All right, next card.
$60 double rare.
Our 4th blue double rare. Back to Andy.
Sweet, we got this Maple. She's a
robot
in her gamer chair. When this is placed from hand onto the stage, you can pay 1. Your opponent puts all their stock into their waiting room, same number from top of deck to stock. So it's pay 1 stock swap when you play it, and it's a climax combo. Deploy the left hand. What?
Yeah, she becomes a mech.
What the fuck is this?
Yeah, she becomes a mech at one point.
Is this the same thing where she's the big bug?
Yeah. No. They're different. She has different modes to be broken.
Oh, Jesus Christ. When you attack, if you have the pants, put the bottom 4 cards of your opponent's library into waiting room and deal X damage to your opponent. X equals the number of climaxes. So, Icy Tail on attack with the combo, and it's on play stock swap. I think it's pretty solid. Solid.
Yeah, super
You're probably
solid.
not playing the climax combo, I'd imagine. But if you were, I think that's perfectly fine too.
I think that because it's free and because like we've discussed like slowly well, okay, spoiler alert, there was some time between us recording the first 2 colors and the second 2 colors. And in that time, Tyler and I had done more testing, and Brian has played into more of Tyler doing testing.
I have.
And the choice pants deck that like was the go-to, like this is what we're gonna start with, started having like some subtle problems where it's like you don't really have enough stock to like go into the big like Musashi cancel burn package that like would be really cool to play when you were playing a Nexal Wall, because like you don't have another climax combo, but you just didn't have the resources for it. I think there's like an 8 pants deck that like plays this like not as its primary finisher, but like this is your other climax. Because there's also like a pants support in the set. It's not a like broken one, but there is one.
We'll see it in a couple cards here.
That like maybe you could go for that Musashi cancel burn plan, and then also just play Icy Tail because it's also stock swap. Like, because you're running this at 1 or 2 count in basically every deck.
Icy Tail for free is like a fine.
Yeah, it's totally
Isn't that
okay.
what Saikano had at the start?
Yeah, it's just Icy Tail Mishuru. That's where it comes from.
Yeah, so like,
it's fine.
If the set does have a pants support, even if it has some sort of like climax support effect, maybe, and this card's like perfectly fine enough on its own, that could be enough of an incentive to go into 8 pants.
You also have a good climax swap too, right? Like
and having a couple extra copies of a stock swap floating around.
Yeah, not a bad thing.
Yeah, is a pretty good deterrent for your opponent.
But yeah, card's good. It's kind of boring, but it's good.
Yep, seems solid.
Give it the B plus just because like it's character stock swap. It's a 2-soul body. Unfortunately, you can't do it early. But is it him? Is he back?
Dinner's over. Dinner is done.
Oh my gosh.
How was it? What did you eat? What was on the menu tonight?
Meatloaf, potatoes, and green beans.
Damn, the all-American dinner.
Yep.
Call that Cracker Barrel. It's the MLD right there. Meatloaf dinner.
All right.
It's classic, dude.
So who read that one? Andy did, so it's Brian.
Yeah. All right. We've got this Sally. On play, look at top 2 and rearrange of your deck. And when this card is placed on the stage from your hand, your opponent declares 0, 1, 2, or 3. Put the top card of your deck into the waiting room. If the level of the card put into the waiting room this way is the same as the number your opponent declared, draw X cards. X is equal to 1 plus the number your opponent declared. So something to note is both of these effects are on play. So your opponent can declare the number, and then you can rearrange the top 2 cards of your deck.
Well, you decide the order that these happen in. So,
right.
Yeah.
So you can't hear your opponent declare the number and then rearrange and then reveal, though, unfortunately.
Yeah, you can do it. Well, no, you can. You can do it whatever order you want. So when you play it, you can look at the top 2, rearrange, and then have your opponent say a number.
Right.
And sit there and like do some banter with your opponent to trick them into saying what you want, which is super BM. Or the way that you're supposed to use the card, because this card is like okay, in a lot of builds, like standby builds, they run 4 of this card, and this is why. You play it down to the field, your opponent says whatever, you don't give a shit, and then you top check 2 rearrange so that like you never trigger climax first attack, which is like the entire reason to play it. Or you see like events or cards you want to draw because of the Sally brainstorm, and because that's ditch draw in play, so it lets you like draw and then know your first trigger. Because like you get to like interact with it, and like, because normally like the argument when like we bring up these cards or cards that look at your opponent's deck, look at your deck, whatever, because you get to rearrange and you have so many ways to interact with it, and it like helps you ramp more 2/2s and 1/1s to front row like faster than almost any other standby deck. This card becomes really important. In a vacuum, this card looks like shit. Looks like a meme. But like,
I can't believe you actually like it.
Yeah, I actually really like this card too. So
the way it works with all the standby going on is like, and especially the Sally brainstorm. I think the Sally brainstorm with this card is what really makes it disgusting, because you just get to know what you draw, and it can help you rip into events. It helps you because like when you're playing the standby deck, you're like death gripping every Wooly event you draw, because like that's your like entire game plan. So this helps you get into more of them. Gives you like 4 or 5 cards every turn to get into an additional Wooly.
Have we done the Sally brainstorm yet?
Yeah, it's the green one. It's the one that makes all your climaxes colorless and has on climax play ditch draw a card.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So here's a question though. Whenever like if I was my opponent, what is the correct number to say?
If you're a little bitch, you say 0 every time.
I feel like if you're smart, you just say 1.
Why?
Just because I feel like just most decks, I feel like have mostly zeros. So statistically speaking, you don't want to say 0, but you don't want to say 3 because you don't want to let them just get a billion cards in their hand. So you just say 1.
Yeah, on the off chance that you call it wrong, you don't want them to like, well, you have a level 3 now, or like or you like draw a bunch of cards.
What you're supposed to do is look at your opponent's grave and then run the numbers that way. But like generally, you say 0 or maybe
You either
1.
say 0 or 1.
Saying 1 might be too rough if it does happen to hit, though. I think the fail case for saying 0 is not as bad. I would say 0 most of the time because it's a less worse.
I
fail
think Brandon's like right with the odds though. You're sculpting level
on
1
first deck.
probably.
On
Maybe
first
on
deck.
first deck you say zeros. I don't know.
Now on your first deck, the level 1 thing tracks. If you're on anything else, you just say 0.
Yeah.
But even then,
regardless, I don't think. I think that affects kind of just a
yeah, who
joke.
cares?
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
I don't think the top 2 rearrange on a 500 body is good enough to play.
Yeah.
You're
I
just gonna
agree.
stand by over it.
I'm kind of just disregarding that second effect.
Yeah, top 2 rearrange can be relevant. It's pot of greed when it works though.
Oh, I don't care about the second effect at all. The first effect is what's important. The way it interacts with the deck is invaluable. Like a staple 4-0.
I don't agree with that. I feel like there's no way that's right.
You'll see how the deck works, dude. It's really important for how the deck functions. Because you can interact with the information in a super meaningful way. Unlike other decks that do this shit. Like
Carmen, I'm the no game no life guy. I played more Shiros than anyone. I know the power of a top 2 rearrange.
But
that's like
your
Weiss
set
Schwarz fundamentals to me.
Your set actually doesn't interact in a way as meaningful as this. This like generates actual meaningful advantage because it's ramping more standbys to the front row than any other deck, while also controlling and filtering.
I don't know what you're talking about. No game no life has 8 standby.
Yeah,
also,
and all those targets are garbage and get run over by people's costless non-climax combo cards. You have cards that are like worth protecting, that like do things that warp the board in this set. The targets that you put out are directly meaningful to how important ramping standby can be. And the targets in No Game No Life are shit, and the targets in this set are good.
Well, let me put it with you this way. I think looking at the top 2 and rearranging, I think that's really good in a standby strategy. No game, no life, Bofuri, Data Live, whatever, right? I think it synergizes very well with it. So I agree with you on that. I think it's a very synergistic card for the deck. It's just that this card is just a vanilla 500 otherwise.
Well, yeah,
in the case of the Shiro runner and No Game No Life, it's also a free runner.
But who cares?
It's also an incredibly good plussing level 0 on top of the.
Yeah, that's not how you play the deck though. Like in No Game No Life, you're gonna put out maybe 1/1/1 at level 0 if you're unbelievably lucky, and then the second your opponent gets to level 1, they'll run it over with a card that's not even their climax combo because it's not defendable, and you don't have the tools to do anything with that information. Like other than you're at the mercy of that information. With Bofuri, when you play this, you mill the top card. If you get a plus off it because your opponent's an idiot, whatever, or you're just super lucky, whatever, you get the plus. Then you top check to your rearrange. You see a standby, you move it down. You see like a woolly you want to draw, you can move it up. Then you slam your standby, you ditch whatever your target is. You rip that top card to your hand if you want it, or you can just leave it there. Sequence your attacks right, put more 1/1s in the front row. If you can, more often than not, this card is the reason why when I go into my second level 1 turn, I have 2 1/1s in the front row. More games often than not. It's really, really consistent. And one of them is usually the card that stand and swaps my field. So I don't really care about this card, because ideally what happens when I play this card is I see a standby, I swing with this card first, and then I immediately standby over it. I don't give a shit what the power is. Like, it's just the only card in the set that has this effect. And as it
But
turns,
you're running 8 standby, you want to have a low 0 lineup then, probably.
Yeah, you still run 4 of it. This card's that important.
This is like such a bad card at holding board at 0.
Who cares?
Like,
this card doesn't. You stand by over
4
it.
copies of this and then just not a lot of
You
other
don't
zeros.
need to hold board at 0 when you're putting out 1/1s. Nothing can answer. None of your opponent's level 0 can answer a 1/1. This card gets standbyed over, is my point. Or, at worst, buffers damage. You don't care when it dies. It did its job already. It's the card that gets standbyed over in your front row, and you will always be able to standby over it because you will move the standby down one. You will never have to standby over this on first attack.
So you're tri-fielding at level 0? I mean, I guess it's more valuable as the game goes on, because I see what you mean. As the game goes on, you never have to randomly trigger a standby.
I'm just trying to say with a true 8 standby deck, because I don't count No Game No Life as a true 8 standby deck.
Fair.
With a true 8 standby deck, you do not care when this dies. The stat line of the card is completely irrelevant, because it's done more than enough when combined with the other cards. I do agree.
That's when you're playing it at level 1, though, or like when you have
even at level 0.
That's when you have a developed board. You're not tri-fielding at level 0 and standby. No way.
I would double with this and something else and standby into the third lane.
And again, even the effect where you would have to play your card over top of this only really applies when you have a full field anyway.
No. You're triggering this card. You play a standby. You have a full field now. Your second attack is a standby. You know it's a standby because you moved it down. You attack with this card. You attack with your next card. Your new misery goes over this card. Your new 1/1 goes over this card. This card is now gone. It's attacked in an open lane or something.
But that's like at level 1, though.
No, this is at level 0. At level 0, this happens.
You're playing 4 cards to your field turn 1.
Why do you need 4 cards?
Well, what are you talking about?
Why would
I need to stand by over this if I have an open back row?
Why wouldn't you stand by over this if you're putting a 1/1 into the front row? That was a 7/5.
Okay, you probably do. You probably do, but I guess that kind of like.
Like, do you see what I'm getting at here?
You're still minusing your card. Then you're still minusing your card.
Yeah, who cares? Because you're winning board. That's all that matters. Because you're a standby deck. You don't care. Like, the point is that you're winning board every time from level 0. Because this card is putting out more 1/1s to your board than any other deck can put out consistently. Because you have the Sally that lets you play the Sally Brainstorm that lets you play climaxes without even having color identity. You can't get bricked there, which can happen to a lot of standby decks. Even 8 standby Dow, you can run into that situation where you don't have enough red or you don't have red for some reason. Like you're already like hand waving that issue, and then on top of that, you're getting like mill and top check to rearrange, and you have a way to ditch. Like when you play the climax, you like get a free ditch. Like this plus the Sally Brainstorm like enables the fastest 1/1 ramping of standby targets of any standby deck I've played. It gets really, really disgusting. I do agree that when you read this card, it sounds like garbage. It's the package.
I just don't know how you're doing this like turn 1 or turn 2, like you're saying.
You just play the card down. You play this and the Brainstorm down. They're both 4-ofs. Those are the only 2 cards you need. Those 2 in a standby. And there are like those are ones and 8 of, and the other 2 are 4-ofs. I don't think that's like absurd.
I don't know. That's just like a little too risky for me to like on like a level 0 lineup.
Well,
like
I don't
running
understand.
A low count of zeros, and my main level 0 card that I'm putting in my front row is a 500 shitter.
This isn't your main. Like you run the runner too.
I guess, but I mean, you're probably running a low count of zeros. I mean, you know how it is.
Like 16.
Play decks with low 0 counts.
You just play like
sometimes you just have to play what you draw.
You just play 16 of it. Yeah, but like, why is this a bad card when you draw it and throw it down? It does like it might just put a 1/1 out, or at like worst sequences your attack in a way that favors that you put a 1/1 in the front row. Like I don't understand why this card dying is a big deal. It just doesn't fucking matter. Because you're an 8 standby deck, you will always win board eventually. There's not a situation where you lose board unless you're playing a mirror and your opponent is hitting more standbys than you. You will always win board eventually. The fact that this card is a 500 power level 0 is completely irrelevant.
I think this is all just really, really ironic and funny because usually it's you and me arguing about these type of cards, but like,
well, you want to play them
on the other side of it.
You want to play them in sets that really don't generate meaningful advantage off of it. This is the first time I've played a card like this where it truly is giving that kind of advantage. I guess 8 standby Dow also can with the coterie, but like, which is I'm sure why Brandon's already given it a B. Is because he's had that exact same experience with that card in that deck. But the fact that Bofuri also has this other tool in the Brainstorm that lets you like draw this card off the top of your deck and like auto filters your standby targets to grave. Like makes it put out 1/1 so fast.
I think Brian did the same thing. I think Brian plays No Game No Life, and he's comparing this to the Shiro.
Well, yeah, I think
Am
that.
I right?
I think you guys are stupid for playing that set in general. So
I mean, I'm tempted to bump it up a little bit after hearing what Carmen had to say. The fact that you can put whatever you want to the top during main phase, and then with the Sally Brainstorm, add whatever you put to the top to your hand, or just have knowledge of your triggers going into your attacks, especially since you're playing standby, I think could potentially be relevant. I think I am slightly turned off of the card solely due to the fact that it's a weak body.
I don't. How many 8 standby decks have you guys really played? Just No Game No Life?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
I've that's like the one build I actually haven't played.
Yeah, 8 standby No
To be
Game No
honest,
Life is like the shittiest, like even halfway version of an 8 standby deck. A real 8 standby deck is like Fujimi 8 standby. That's a real 8 standby deck. That is not a real 8 standby deck. You will do cute shit similar to what 8 standby decks will do, but you do not generate the same advantage that a true 8 standby deck would generate off a card like this. It's a very big difference.
I think what Brian's trying to say, or maybe it's what I'm trying to say, is that like on its own, this card is kind of
I agree.
ass.
It sucks.
Whereas like comparing it to like the Shiro Runner, the Shiro Runner is actually like
the Shiro Runner is just like a good card on its own, sure. But this card,
where this is just like a 500.
I mean, guys,
you're not playing this for the body; you're playing it for the effect.
I'm on my goddamn soapbox, and I have a C+ in the box. Like, I agree. Like, you know.
Yeah, I think we're like all on the same page with it.
Yeah.
Saying it's like really good in 8 standby, but it's still kind of like a, it's a niche include, but you want to.
I did wish it did literally anything other than the second effect, but sometimes it's funny when your opponent says 3 and you mill a 3 and you draw 4. That's pretty sick.
Like salvage maybe.
If it did anything other than the second effect, because the second effect's just like
it's a meme.
The funny joke.
Yeah.
But I guess, well, thing is though, like let's say you're playing 4 copies of this card though, right? Because you want to like.
You want to do
playing
it
8
often.
standby, and you just want to be playing this card from your hand a lot. Chances are you're going to hit one of those declare levels eventually, right?
Probably
one. Let's say you play 4 copies of this card over the course of a game. 3 or 4 copies because you field it multiple times.
Your opponent says 0.
I have no idea what the math on it would be, but I feel like it's not unlikely for you to hit once off of it.
If your opponent says 0 every time, you'll probably hit once or twice for sure.
Yeah, and then draw a card back. So at that point, it turns into let's say I played 3 copies of this, and one of them drew me a card when I play it, and it actually is really good.
Yeah, it's like
Because look at top 2 rearrange, draw a card on a 500 body is really, really good.
Yeah, that's much better. The problem is you need to hit it. And that's not reliable.
Might be a draw 4, dude.
It's probably going to give you a plus at some point, but it's not going to be controllable by you.
No, not at all.
It's not even guaranteed.
Exactly.
I could care less about the second effect. Couldn't care less about that.
Yeah.
All right, I think we can move on. We chilled about it enough. That was a fun discussion, at least.
Yeah, let's talk about a different card.
Wow, it's another cool card. Who's this? Is it me?
It's you. Yeah.
Okay. It's the pants support. It's Chibi Sally. When your character's trigger check reveals a pants trigger, the gate, pants, whatever you want to call it, you draw, and if you do, ditch. And then it's rest, give any of your characters 1500 power. Draw ditch off pants, isn't super amazing, but it does move you through your deck and
lets you turn that climax you added back into something else.
Yeah, into maybe not a climax, but probably still a climax.
Probably doesn't help too much at the bottom of a deck though, which is when it's really annoying to trigger pants, I feel.
Yep. It is
it's still something.
It is a payoff card, and the second effect is could be worse.
That's fine. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah, 1500 helps you.
1500 is a reasonable number.
Sometimes.
Super reasonable number.
Mm-hmm.
You said there's act support in this set too, right?
There is act support.
And
boom,
it's blue.
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff going on, and it's all in blue too. We'll get to that card soon. Yeah, I think like niche plus, like only for 8 pants, not good enough to run in a 4 pants deck, like unlike the Spriggan.
Is it? I don't know. Is it like the just restless give 1500 power that's not playable enough to just cram it in a 4 pants deck?
No, just because like, because I have a lot of experience with the Spriggan from South 10th, which will also be in Mob, by the way, same card. Which is when you trigger a pants after you salvage a climax, you can ditch any card to salvage anything, and like that's such a broken effect that it's worth playing that even when you're only playing 4 pants, because it adds so much consistency to your deck.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas this is like, it's just not enough. It's not enough to warrant.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, this is definitely just a payoff for going all in on 8. Yeah.
She's not even wearing pants. She's wearing a skirt. She's a fucking liar.
They're like shorts, I think.
Are they?
That's a cape.
I don't know. That is a cape. She's got like a cloak on.
No, if you go up to the combo, they're definitely just like pants. They're like spats.
Oh my god, who cares? It was just a joke, dude.
Next card. All right, Brandon. You.
Burger, McChicken.
Oh my gosh. We eat in a climax.
No, that's a hot dog. That's a hot dog.
Oh my gosh, Andrew.
Brandon got the hot dog card. Let's go.
Okay, well, let's see if this wiener guy does. When you play climax, choose a character, give an extra 1,000. Brainstorm, do 6, and if you hit one or hit a book exclusively, salvage. Seems solid.
It only pluses 1.
It
I
only
hate
pluses
them.
1. Yeah,
I hate
you hit more than
them.
1 climax.
And I hate running 8 books. I hate it. F for books.
Oh my god.
I hate book.
I mean, it's not that bad if you're playing a book.
It's fine.
No,
it's fine.
It's fine.
It's also a married life.
If you hit multiple climaxes with it, you only get 1 salvage. If you hit 6 books, you get 1 salvage.
Right.
Yeah.
Which I played
not
around
bad.
with that in Goblin Slayer in the 8-shot deck. They have something similar.
It's
And
not that bad.
it usually
it's
isn't
bad.
unless you mill a whole bunch of climaxes. Like if I mill 2 climaxes and only get 1 salvage, I'm like, oh, whatever. But there was like, I don't know, the last time I played that deck before I took it apart, I think I was
remember.
playing Carmen.
Yeah, I remember this. Yeah.
I milled like 4 out of 6 of them were climaxes, and I got 1 salvage.
And you're like, damn, if I could have gotten another card, I could have like not had a shit deck because like I just got to swing into.
I was like, I had no other
deck.
way to like get through it.
Yeah.
And I was like, fucked.
Yeah, that's
just me being snake bitten.
mhm.
They're fine. They're fine.
Yeah, I feel like it's okay. It can put you in some
Married life
awkward
is good.
positions.
That's like a good effect to just be stapled to a brainstorm.
It
could
is
be
good,
worse.
It's a good first deck brainstorm.
Yeah.
Like if you're really compressed, it's not as good. But if you're like in states of less compression,
Yeah.
being able to guarantee pay 1, get a card, essentially is really nice.
Yeah.
Mill 6 is really nice too.
All right. Andy doesn't have to waste his turn. 2K back up. They got one. Important. It's an irrelevant color that helps fix you for splashing of what is it? Stock swap if you want
What the fuck
to.
is her weapon? Is she just
Stock
holding a
swap.
circle?
It's a
Or is it a
scepter.
wand?
It's like a swan scepter.
Yeah.
Type deal.
Sailor Moon.
Yeah, but it's just
Taylor
a 2K.
Frederica.
Can move to the next.
All right, real next card. We got Sally and Maple sitting under a tree. When this card's placed from hand to stage, you can discard a card. Choose one of your opponent's level 1 or higher characters. Your opponent chooses a level X or lower character in their waiting room and swaps them. X equals the level of the card you chose -1.
That's a level down.
Level down. This card is
I
fair
literally
and
just
balanced.
like read words and didn't even like cognitively think what I was reading. I just like spoke.
This card is fair and balanced and a reasonable tech card.
Searchable level down on a body. Pretty.
Yeah, the fact that
Pretty
you can
snazzy.
play 1 copy of it. The problem with My Little Shido was that My Little Shido had too many modes and wasn't a liability to run 4 copies of in your deck.
But My Little Shido wasn't a body though. This is broken.
This is a
Exactly.
body. It is searchable. However, level swap, more corner case than people complain about it, including myself. Especially in English, where people are playing like Union and Jizu. But it's still a good effect.
Don't even give me that shit, Brandon.
I would
you're the
still
guy,
run one.
You're the guy who played My Little Shido and are like, man, camera event that Matt has in Revy Starlight, that's really good. You don't even have to rest a character.
It is. It's broken.
Well, I guess I'm saying it's like a testament to the fact that like you play the My Little Shido. You would say that most of the time you probably what do you do with it? Do you level down or do you usually look at 4 cards?
I've looked at 4, like 80% of the time.
No one forgetting the most
And the other-
broken
and the
mode
other
on the
20%
card.
The other 20% was adding level 3.
Yeah,
I
the
almost
most
never use
broken
level-
mode. The most
Karumi
broken
mode, yeah.
I think in my 6 months of playing Dow, I used level down once. Maybe
Yeah,
twice.
it's like it's really strong when it's strong, but
I think
the
you
Shido
run one
event's
of
good
it.
because it has the other options on it.
You run one of it just for the threat of level down.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it is such a strong effect when it's good. It also, if you're playing standby, this card can like help you win standby mirrors. You just nuke your opponent's 2/2, run it over. I think that's worth including as a tech card since it is a character. You can't access the card. You can just go get the card when you need it. It can be reactive, which I think level down.
Discards any card can be a good handout.
Yeah. Because what level down does is just exchanges a card in your hand for a card on your opponent's field. Or hopefully something you can kill.
Yeah.
That interaction is fine. My Little Shido is not fine because it has 2 other extremely good things stapled to it. And had a bazillion cards that you could rest for it that didn't matter. Because Bushiroad, for some reason, thinks resting a card is equal to stock. Categorically untrue. But yeah, that's discussion for another time.
Yeah, I wish I could just rest my cards and get a free stock.
Be sick. Alright, we can move on. Talked enough about level down in the Dow videos.
Here she is, my girl Frederica. 2-1.
Yep.
2-1 8K. When dual system is placed in your climax zone, I assume that's a blue stock soul.
Yes.
And this is in your front row, and you have another Frederica Information Warfare, which is this card, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so when you play the climax and this card is in your front row, and you have another copy of it, reveal the top card of your deck. If it's a game character, choose one of your opponent's level 3 or lower characters, return it to your opponent's deck, and your opponent shuffles their deck.
This card seems like ass.
Yeah, it's not good.
What? What are you talking about? It's actually fine. I like this a lot,
It
actually.
doesn't like the unplussing climax combo.
What do you mean it's not plussing? You kill one of their things.
It pluses
Yeah,
you
it pluses you by negging your opponent. It can choose your opponent's back row.
It decompresses them, gets rid of their stupid bullshit early plays.
It is a
doesn't
level 2
actually
shuffle
matter.
back. It does
It's
shuffle back.
It's off
It's an
soft soul.
8K, so it's probably going to live back to your turn.
I don't know about that.
You
No.
shuffle away their early play, dude. What are they going to do?
Right.
Attack you with their early play? It's gone.
No, they'll search it back out and replay it.
Oh, shut up, Brandon.
Yeah, but
Oh,
what if they're at 1 card and you like shuffle it into their deck, and then like it goes to their claw?
Oh man, I love it. It's decompression
Oh my
and
god. You can't
it's
actually be
indiscriminate
I-
removal.
I
You
think
gotta
it's
love it.
I think it's pretty bad, but it is really funny.
It is very funny. It's not great, but
Why isn't it guaranteed?
No,
Why
no,
do you?
you know when you run these type of cards. I was doing some figuring. I was doing some thinking.
Oh
The
no!
other day.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I
it
was
is
doing some
thinking.
figuring and thinking. I think in like, do you have a climax swapper in this set?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have the good one, the 3K.
I feel like if
Okay.
you're running like a lot of choice triggers and you just want to like add to your soul count cards with souls on them, you can just like put 3 or 4 of this Frederica in your deck, right? And then run a couple of the climax and switch into it when the opportunity presents itself.
No.
And you're just adding like a lot of soul triggers into your deck.
Mm-hmm.
so I guess the problem with that is that if you're playing choice, you're either playing the level 1 combo that requires you to play the Neg Soul, or you're playing the Neg Soul itself, which is competing for play at level 2.
I don't know. I was just speaking out loud here.
Right.
When I was
Why-
doing some figuring, I was doing some like weird janky testing with Grisaya, and they have like a 2-1 combo similar to this. I'm thinking,
So-
geez, I kind of want more soul triggers in my deck.
Why is this card a coin flip? Did we discuss
Yeah, it's weird that it's a coin flip. Like you kind of have to set it up. I don't like the fact that it's a coin flip. But
it is.
I mean, it's obviously meant to work with the Sally that we argued about too long. That was the card that enables standby. You're supposed to like play both of these cards. They're staring at each other.
Oh my gosh! I
If you
didn't
look at
realize
the
it was a coin
arts,
flip.
yeah.
This
So,
card's even worse than
but
I
like
thought.
that only confirms the first one. If you want to like nuke your opponent's
what do you
board,
mean? No, it reveals the top card.
Yeah,
it would be the
it's on
same.
climax play. So if the top card is correct, then all.
oh, it is on climax play. You're right. Okay, so yeah, you can set it. You have a way to set it
That's interesting that it's such a hefty cost, though.
because it
It's
can
like
kill
you
back
need to have
row.
another copy of itself, and you need
It's
to
because
hit
it
the coin flip.
it's
That's
because
kind
it
of-
targets back row, Andy. Targeting back row. Bushi Road.
It shuffles back.
Bushi Road hates when you could target back row because it is a naturally degenerate thing to be able to do. Because it like destroys so much shit that like has existed in the past. And for all the shit we do get Bushi Road, sets that come out of Bushi Road Japan, are like they don't want to print things that like destroy every old thing people have. So like when they print effects like this, they're very safe.
I don't know. I'm just comparing it to the one card combo I've seen in Grisaya, which was which also hits back row. By the way, I don't even. You probably don't know what combo I'm talking about. You never ran into.
Is it the
probably. It's
Akane?
like
Here's the thing, though.
it's a
like,
2-1 off a book or something. It gives minus 2,000 to your opponent's entire field for each copy of itself. I think.
Oh, that's fucking Aerosmith. That's fucking Aerosmith, dude. You're talking about yeah. I mean, Aerosmith is fine. I think this is worse than Aerosmith because it's not like instances of global minus power. I think are better than this. Because like this card is an 8K. If you hit a couple minus powers, like they probably kill everything beyond the like amount of backups, right? That's why the Aerosmith is
True.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why the Aerosmith is
But I guess this can hit like a big. This gets like an actual thing off the table. Your opponent has their soul on the table. It's gone. Your opponent has this thing they invested a lot of resources into. It's just gone. It's indiscriminate removal.
It is on climax phase. I'll give you that.
And it's decompression, which is nice.
It is climax phase, so I don't think your opponent's abilities have a chance to kick. So it does get rid of stuff.
It's way too costed, and like, it's not even off of a good climax. It's off a 2-soul climax.
Hey, I love Stoxel.
I'll give it a D+ for Frederica's smug smile, which you can see. Why did they give her better cards, dude? You got the Carmen.
I don't know. I love Frederica.
Yeah, she's like one of my favorite side characters. All right.
It's just like how do you fit? That's a lot of deck spots though. Like
Yeah.
even if you're trying to like be techy and cute, it's like,
That's a lot of slots.
You need a lot of Fredericas and then enough of the climaxes, but
All right.
so it's a big opportunity cost, but you know, it'd
All
be
right,
cool.
You got the easy one in.
Oh, I got one.
Yep.
Oh, they ate and they didn't wait 15 minutes before going in the water. That's
Nope.
dangerous. Oh wait, no, are they on the beach?
They're
Yeah,
on
there's
the beach.
there's some beige in the corner. They're standing on the beach. They're safe.
Yep.
They followed
they're-
the rules.
They're about to go in the water, though.
Uh-oh.
You don't know that.
They're gonna get yelled at by the light. For each of your opponent's back row characters, this gets 1,500 power. Counts your opponent's back row. If your opponent has a full back row, this is what 10k.
10K.
When this card's front attack, you can pay one, discard a game character, and this can't be reversed. I would rather run the misery 10 out of 10 times.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is just worse. Especially because color doesn't mean anything in this set when you're playing standby. So like, who cares what like color the card is?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it doesn't
don't
matter.
like when my opponent can control the power level of my cards.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Isn't this set in a fantasy world, this show?
Yeah.
Why do they have bendy straws? That's like a modern day McDonald's
Look.
invention. Why do they have that in like fucking Sword Art Aincrad level world? What is this?
What do you mean? It's like a fucking
they're
video game.
The fucking factory like multi-produced. lemonade cup.
Yeah, it's a
with
fucking
the fucking bendy straw.
yeah, it's a fucking video game.
Meanwhile, they're fighting with swords like animals.
It's like a fucking like
Hey,
what is
I
it?
mean,
It's like
Maple,
a
turns,
FF.
Maple turns into a mech.
It's like
Yeah,
FF. Yeah,
next to, that's right.
Yeah.
If the mech exists, they can have bendy.
Nothing tracks with the show.
It's like
Some characters
Maple
are using
Story, dude.
Swords and shields. Others are using mechs and bendy straws.
It's like Maple Story. Nothing makes any sense.
It's quite literally Maple Story. Cause
Yeah, it is Maple
the main
Story.
character.
Yeah, it is Maple Story. You're right.
This show's ridiculous.
All
That's
right,
great.
next. Ryan.
Is this me?
Yep.
What is this character's name? I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
Level 0, 500 power. When this is placed on the stage from your hand, all of your opponent's front row characters get minus 500 power for the turn. When this is placed from hand to stage, you can discard a game character. If you do, draw a card.
Like the shittiest Arisu ever.
It's,
Only half an Arisu.
That's not good. Yeah.
it's no bueno.
Yeah, the second effect is only good when it's stapled to like a double dig some way.
You can combine it with the
D plus for the minus
the
5.
Sally from earlier. You top check 2, rearrange, and then you can like draw that event card you wanted or something. But
I guess.
you could just play that card that lets you ditch draw on climax play.
Yeah, it's just the brainstormer. Like kind of whatever.
Mhm.
All right, next. Got this Maple looking surprised. It's blue. When this is played from hand to stage, you may discard any card. If you do, reveal the top card of your library. Choose one character level extra lower in your waiting room. Return it to your hand. X equals level of the revealed card. It is Rico on play. You must ditch the card first. One of the only ways Bofuri has to have like pseudo-selective salvage like on play. There's not like a drop salvager. So this card is like weirdly better in this set than it would be normally, but like it's not great.
Yeah, I mean, baseline, you always get a level 0 back, so you can find your utility zeros that you want. It can act as extra copies of your climax swap. So it definitely has some benefits.
You can use it with the like Sally to rearrange but a card. That's too cute for me.
No, that's yeah.
You reveal the card and then you tell you have to like gaslight your opponent super hard.
Yeah.
I just saw that it was level 3. Why would I say
You
level
didn't
3?
say that.
What are you talking about?
What do you mean, dude?
Level 0.
No, zero, dude.
It was a climax. What are you talking about?
No, I do think there is some.
And then the person watching your game's like, yeah, it was a climax.
Because they want to see you draw 4.
You gotta play the crowd, yeah.
Yeah, card's fine. I
Mhm.
think the Ricos are fine. Body sucks. Do anything else. Whatever. Alright. Brandon, you get Kana
Boy,
today.
I get the hot dog boy again. All right. We got when it's just a climax combo. When this is placed, or if this is in your front row and you have another game character, perform one of the 2 effects. Choose a spell stash in your waiting room, return to hand, or search for up to the spell stash and show it to my opponent, put in my hand. And then when it attacks, choose one of your characters and get 15.
Wow, it's Goblin Slayer, but not good.
Okay, well, what's Spell Slash do?
Camera. It's
a little
Sachi.
more,
Notably,
It's camera.
this is not. This is not Goblin Slayer. This is Sachi. This is
Okay.
on play instantly, which is
okay, yeah.
which
Wait,
is
wait.
it's straight up better.
Hold on. You said the 1/0 is camera, right?
Yes,
It is.
it's camera.
On play mill
It
This
does-
card is broken.
No, it's not. Card is really whatever.
This card is broken. Add
Um,
the best card in Weiss Schwarz ever to your hand.
Oh my
From
god.
graveyard or deck?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
God, we got
What is this?
Oh my
You
god.
people are actually idiots.
now you have to argue with 2 people about.
Oh
about
my
Cameron's
god.
card.
Okay, it has nothing to do with the card. Like Sachi is strong because she adds cigarettes to hand and like or cooking, whatever you want to call it, cigarettes. The cigarettes.
Smoking's in, Carmen. We've been over this.
The cigarettes they're selective, unlike the cameras. Cameras are not selective. Cameras give you deck speed.
They give you
These-
variability.
Gotta
with
go
deck
fast.
speed.
Yeah, they give
Variable
you
deck
deck
speed.
speed. However, I can tell you, as someone who has recently played a combo that adds cameras to hand, Brandon, stop making the S bigger. As someone who has recently played a combo that adds cameras to hand in a modern set, if it does not have a cool counter symbol on it, which would make it torch instead of camera, these are not worth playing because the deck speed is not fast enough because you have to wait till the next turn. You are still at the mercy of your deck at that point.
That's
The
a
fact
good
that
point,
the fact that it comes from your next turn makes these cards too slow. And camera on your next decks, if you don't like, or if you're not lucky enough to just cancel with all of your climaxes at the top of your next deck, they're just useless cards that could brick you.
Yeah, like with the Sachi combo and Grisaya, like
Milling 2 is fine.
even if your opponent knocks you over the refresh, you're not having to mill a ton of cards on your second deck then, so it's a little bit less destructive there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I think one of the big factors that makes Sachi good in Grisaya or Goblin Slayer in Goblin Slayer
They sit big.
is they sit at 6K. These sit at 4K.
Yeah, definitely.
But aside from the climax combo, these can pump anything by 1500. So you like throughout the game, it's retains its value a bit more than Goblin Slayer. But I mean, you're running 4 copies of this, and you're only getting to 5K on his normal attack. Well, I guess he can pump the power in himself. He gets to 65, which isn't
literally whatever. The other two go to
it's
7.
literally whatever.
Okay.
And they're on better. Both of them are on a better trigger. I hate book.
I think this is fine. I mean, I think it's another good way to update your trial deck or something. These are all uncommons.
Yeah, considering there's no level 1 combo in the trial deck, this is an okay card.
This is just barely playable, I think.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Brandon, you sticking with your S?
Yes. The camera is broken, therefore Hot Dog Man is broken.
Do you understand like the reasoning as to why it's really
Yes,
not that good?
I understood your reasoning, but I don't agree with your reasoning.
Okay.
Camera's broken. It's Milo Sheet a bit better, so
God.
therefore the card's broken.
You do know this is going to be broadcast to like 600 subscribers, right?
I don't care.
All right. Okay.
What? My little sheet is a good card, Carmen. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
I'm
Doug,
going to make Bofuri,
Brandon-
and this is going to be my level 1 combo.
Brandon, you have dug your grave. You must now lie in it. We will move to the next card.
I like it a little bit better than a C. I'll probably give it like a B, but
Thanks, Andy. I appreciate meet me halfway here.
Halfway. Jesus Christ.
Hot dog boys rise up.
hot dog gang.
My God. Okay. You know what? No, Andy doesn't have to waste his turn on this. This card's
So cute. What is this thing?
I thought it was my turn.
It's Sally's stand.
He's got the third eye.
Brandon,
like
do you
DD
want
when
to
he puts
rate
the puzzle
this
together
card?
and
Do
he
you
goes,
want to
"Oh,
rate this
oh,
500
hi,
power
on the forehead."
striker?
I'd rather read the next one.
Okay. Go ahead.
Oh, we're just skipping over it. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's whatever.
All right. Oh, this is the card's kind of cool. When the battle opponent of this becomes reversed, there's a climax in your climax zone. You may put the top card of your library in your stonks. And when the battle opponent becomes reversed, send it to memory. So,
I don't know if I like forced memory shoot on a stalker.
Okay, hear me out. In JP, this card's pretty sick. I don't know if this card is going to be pretty good in English. So say you get to level 1 first, and your opponent has like their memory generators on field. If you run them over, and this is your third lane for your climax combo, they go to memory. They cannot fulfill their
They can't send themselves.
Yeah, they can't send themselves a memory for their effect. So like they're gonna get the memory no matter what, right? But like it removes it, and you get to blind stock. It also really helps with the stock crunch. This was like the only thing helping me play Pants Choice was the stalker. Like this,
that is actually kind of sick.
Yeah, this card was really important for like Pants Choice like functioning because you were like always one stock like short. And this card sort of fixed that problem. Brandon, are you like giving yourself a buzz cut? What's going on?
what are you talking about?
You have some mad static going on.
Yeah, he does.
All right, whatever.
Anyway, it puts your opponent in like an awkward predicament too, where they can crash into this and give themselves like free memory compression.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, they're giving you a free stock then too, so that's like actually a really raw deal.
Well, no, you have to have a climax down. It's not that good.
Oh,
it has
okay.
a
Then,
problem,
yeah, and I
yeah.
definitely don't like this as much then because your
Yeah.
opponent can like take advantage of this on the swing back.
I do
But
think it is.
but I guess in that case that means they're letting your stalker live. You're still baiting them into that.
If you're not a memory compression deck, that 1 or 2 extra memory that this card will give you probably won't matter that much.
It's kind of negligible, yeah.
The stock that it gives you, in my experience, playing like not the 8 standby deck is like so super impactful. This is probably your auxiliary level 1. Like,
Okay.
Really?
yeah, it's
Huh.
I don't know why it is this way, but like the stock crunch is like so rough. You really want every stock you can get, and this card does really help get you there. And it doesn't have like weird conditions that the other ones do. The right now in JP, the memory thing is like as big a benefit of it as it is like a detractor. For English, it's probably more of a detractor because we don't have those level 0 memory generators. So in English, it's probably a little worse. For JP, I would give this higher, but for English, it's probably just a C plus, like slightly better than a. Slightly better than just D.
Yeah, I can jive with that.
The one really good effect and one maybe bad effect.
Yeah.
All right, back to Andy.
All right, we got Sir Lancelot, Knight of the Round Table.
Yep.
When this becomes
Yep.
Yeah.
Him.
And this becomes reversed. That's Lancelot. If the level of the battle opponent this is higher than the level of your opponent, put that character on the bottom of their library. Sir Adachi of the Round Table.
Yep.
Adachi's pretty decent.
Yeah, hard removal bottom deck Adachi. I like it.
It's better
Relevant
than
color.
better than a 2/1 because you can play this at level 1.
Yep.
And it sends to a different zone. The best zone.
Yeah, arguably the best zone. Depends if your opponent has a search brainstorm or not, but yeah, pretty good.
Well, it's still decompression.
Yeah, even if they do, they have to.
All of the zones have ways to get there, right? It's just anything is better than
Sometimes
reverse.
with a stock, you can help them out too by like
paying him
helping
out.
them pay down something.
Yeah, or you can.
But then you could also just bury something too. So.
All right, next.
Yep. We got Sally swimming with the fishes.
It's not the card name.
Who knows?
It's aquatic swimwear.
Okay?
Right. That's you said it in the last video, dude.
Yeah, it pairs with that ocean wear.
Do you not have the heart of the cards pulled up? You always have that pulled up.
Sally ocean wear.
Ocean wear. Sally ocean wear.
Fucking dropping the ball, man.
This is the one that's summoned off of the Maple early play. The early play condition being 2 copies of this in waiting room. For each of your other game characters in the back row, this gets 500 power, so sits at 11k if you have a full back row. At the beginning of your opponent's attack phase, if this is in your front row, choose up to one of your opponent's characters, and for the turn that character gets 4 soul and cannot side attack.
Every time I do this, I just eat 6.
Yeah, that's fear. That's the worry.
Well, you don't have to. It's choose up to one.
It is. Yeah, you're not.
Yeah.
And then you give them they can't side attack either, so you force them to impale themselves on this Sally.
Well,
but I think
if you want,
I think I would just not play the card.
Probably. I think it's obviously trying to get you to force your opponent to swing big so that you can cancel, but that's
it never works.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
Like, I don't want to talk about this too much because I think Fate got something similar and it's like attached to a better package, and I would like to save the discussion of is this effect worth it for that set review, which will be coming soon. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell to watch for that video. But yeah, I think it's
I'm giving it the B because holy moly, speaking's hard. Because you can pay 1 and summon it like
it is a body. It is a body. Yeah.
I like the fact that you just pay 1, summon it from graveyard.
Yeah, you soul beater at level 2 that can potentially increase your chance of canceling in theory.
I don't know, man.
Because I'm not remembering that wrong. You pay 1, summon this, right?
Yeah, you pay 1, summon it from grave.
Yeah.
The early play condition
like a really
is just
really
shitty.
good tempo play. So I really on board with that.
The early play condition it's attached to is just pretty bad. It's like you have to have 2 copies of this in grave.
I guess, but like if you fulfill the condition, it's pretty
Yeah, I mean,
Pretty
it's
Yeah,
not
it
that
can
bad.
be
Then you
good.
then you just summon one of the copies you have in grave from grave. So
Yeah, like you need you need a lot of copies of each, but I mean,
The budget. It's fine budget play.
yeah, it's all right.
All right, next. Me.
Yes.
All right, we got what's this guy's name? He has a funny name.
Marcus.
No. Guy's like he's like Speedweed or something. He has like a
There's gonna
funny.
be some guy named Marcus.
He's like
watching
a
this video.
he has like
He's
a
not gonna like and subscribe.
he has like a funny name. It's like
My
about
name's
being
not funny.
about being fast.
All right, I'll look it up while you
All
read
right.
the card.
This is placed from hand to stage. If you have another game character for the turn, in this case, +1 level 1500 power. She's a level 1 3k on play. And then when he is placed from the hand to the stage, you may pay 1 and clock yourself. If you do, look at up to 2 cards on the top of your library. Choose up to 2 characters from among them. Show them to your opponent. Put them in your hand. Put the remaining cards in the way.
His name is Dread.
Dread. Okay.
It's not as funny as I was expecting.
Okay, it's not as funny as Speedweed. So this is like an on-play version of that Kirito Ricky from Val 10th. You have like True Ricky in the set. Would you ever play this card? The other Kirito's like on death, but like at least he comes down and attacks, and then you can pay 1 clock yourself randomly. You might add 2.
Yeah,
I don't know. Non-selective Ricky from top of deck, even if it might double plus.
You've got True Ricky in this set. I don't think you play this card.
Yeah,
I think I'd play True Ricky over this every day.
Yeah, it's not worth.
Yeah, you can potentially +2 off this, but you also
It's
get a
not
clock every turn
selective.
+2.
Yeah, just take your
so
selective plus and go on with your day.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to play this card instead of the Ricky, just clock at the start of your turn.
You could. In a way, every card is Dread.
I mean, I don't know. It's still like a Ricky, I guess.
Yeah, it's slightly better. I just don't think I don't think you'd ever play it. I don't think you'd ever sleeve it.
I mean, could call it a dreadful card
Damn.
Man, that's
because it's not
All
very
right,
good.
Brandon, you get to read this one.
All right. If you have no other characters, it gets +2k. And during the battle, if the damage you take is canceled, the card pops the hand. And during this card's battle, if the damage you take is canceled, you may say Cascade.
What?
So wait.
Yeah.
What?
yeah.
Well, what is the point of that?
This is the flavor card from when Sally is trying to trick Frederica into thinking she has a skill that doesn't exist.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, she 4D chesses Frederica into thinking she has this skill called Cascade that like isn't a real skill, and in reality it's just because she's so goddamn fast.
Just really fast. Yeah.
Like she can just dodge everything, but she like says Cascade when she does it to fool her into thinking she has.
That's actually really badass.
she has a fucking skill that she doesn't have.
That's badass, dude.
But yeah, this card's pretty whatever. Pretty cool turn 0.
But that's about it. Yeah.
During this battle, if damage you take is canceled, so even if it can potentially plus you too. It's a great opener because it's 4K, and then can potentially save itself. And then even once you start developing your board, it can still pop back to your hand, and you get to say a word that you otherwise would be illegal to say.
Yeah.
I won't say it's illegal, but
I don't think the card's very good.
If someone just says
No,
Cascade without a card telling them they can, I'm calling a judge.
Yeah.
Judge?
There are 4Ks you can run. There are big cards you can run. I think the Mill Runner where you accelerate is just better than this. Pretty much everywhere.
Better than a normal 4K because it can save itself.
Well,
4K means it lives back to your second.
It's only
turn,
if you're
which is what
empty.
you need it to do.
It's only if your field is empty.
Yeah, so
Only
you play
then.
it turn 1, it lives back to your turn, then you don't give a shit.
Yeah, but then you have to run
Plus
4 of this card.
Yeah, but it pops back to hand every time it dies.
Not every time. I cancel every attack.
It's
for
no,
one.
no. It's like long. It's like long game value though, because like even if you just have to play a shitter,
Maybe.
cantrip.
There are better shitters.
Maybe
A cantrip
plus back to
plus
your
1.
hand. I think it's actually fine.
But it's not because you're never gonna. What if you're just not gonna cancel on this lane?
Carmen,
Yeah, but you
Carmen.
might, and then you get a plus.
What, Brandon? What, Brandon?
have you ever played against me?
Yes, Brandon. I have played against you. You tell
will
me, oh my
cancel-
god, this Nixel
I will
is so
cancel
fucking
every
good.
damage
And then
on
I go, okay, Brandon. Then I pop your Yoshino, and you go, oh my god, Carmen's broken. All he does is pop my thing. Like, whatever, Brandon.
Carmen, you
Whatever.
should cancel as much as me on first deck.
Oh my god.
Be,
you
be
know,
a
who
better
needs
player.
you know who needs to get into the Bofuri?
Who?
Brittany.
Brittany?
Brittany. She'd be a monster with this
Oh my
card.
god, she cancels. She's the first deck cancel master.
Literally, like, every time, like, after, like, round 1 at Heroes, and you and me are talking, Carmen, you're like, Brittany just canceled, like, six
Well,
straight
no,
on first
no,
deck.
I was playing Dodai, and I was explaining. She was saying like, "Oh, so you play the 2 every turn?" And I was explaining like, "Yeah, if my opponent doesn't eat any damage on first deck, this deck doesn't work." She proceeds to cancel everything on first deck, and I was like, "Oh, the deck doesn't work." No, Brittany's very powerful.
Maybe it's just a Brittany thing because I recall OG Brittany canceling a lot too.
Yeah, original Brittany.
If your name is Brittany,
You're very powerful.
This,
man.
you
this,
should
yeah.
buy into Bofuri.
You should play this card.
You should play 4 of this. Oh man.
I'm gonna run this
Yeah,
card. when
shout
I
out
play
to
this
our
card.
locals.
Yeah, I think that's a good card.
I'll
straight
run
up.
2 of it, maybe.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, wait,
And
you're
you
gonna
bet-
run 2 of this card, you're gonna open in your
Yes.
opening mulligan?
You better believe he's saying
Yes.
Cascade too.
Oh my
Do you not
fucking
realize
God.
how happy it'll make me to say Cascade?
I-
I'm going to scream it
It is.
every time.
I like how this is the like say the card out loud that you people are hyped for.
Dude,
Brian is over here rolling in
You know
his
what?
grave with
Just
his
for that- just
Crimson
for that,
Demon
I'm bumping
cards.
I'm bumping it up a ladder.
I love cards that let me say words. I love Alcai Kongru.
Dude, we're
You
getting
play
to the
Brain?
point where you could make a standard deck around cards that say things. You could play the card from Konosuba that lets you say your name. You could play this card.
You could play
say
Brain.
Kongru. You can have
Brain, dude.
Ho.
Brain. The card from Overlord. You just play him and it said you may say Brain.
Yeah, there's gonna be a deck where it's just gonna be saying things tribal.
All right.
Wait for the deck text.
Can we
someday.
move on?
Yeah.
Uh,
All right.
Next week's deck tag.
Oh, Brandon's giving himself a buzz cut again. Go ahead, Andy.
You got swirly-eyed Maple. When this card is played from hand to your stage, choose one of your opponent's characters. Until the end of your opponent's turn, this card cannot move to another slot. On reverse, place this on the bottom of your library.
Why isn't this a Snotqua?
That would be funny.
I mean, she is covered in
Poison.
snot. I don't know. I like these type of cards. You know, being able to say, "Oh, like I'm going to lock down your standby target," so you know you can't move to your front row and attack with it next turn. The card you previously standbyed out, or like the fact that this is 2,500 too means you can lock a runner in place and beat over it. But
Yeah.
Nobody's played runners.
I don't know. I feel like the fact that it's actually a lock in place instead of an actual trapper is good. Because you can actually target a back row
Well,
standby.
it doesn't
lock
do the
down with
can't
it.
an
It
anti-runner.
It does the same thing for running over your opponent's runner, but you can also target a back row with this to lock it down. I think this is actually fine.
It's like slightly better than
Yeah.
these,
I
but
think it's like a C+. I think you could tech this as a one of. Easy.
I really hate these. I'm biased against them,
Yeah,
but I will say
maybe-
it's better.
Yeah, maybe if your whole meta standby, but it's extremely niche.
All right, next.
All right, we got Sheep Maple. Level 0, 4,500 power. This card cannot move to another slot, and all of your characters gain when this character is reversed. Bottom deck it.
Double drawback.
Big Maple.
This card cannot move to another slot. All your characters get on reverse bottom deck it.
It's big. It probably
You guys
doesn't
have played
rival
this set a lot. I haven't. I'm trying to make heads or tails of this, but I'm gonna call it while it's in the air, and I'm gonna say that this is a bad card.
Yeah, it's not
fantastic,
great.
yeah.
This card is really shit.
I cut this from Maple Waifu to give you an idea.
Yikes.
it was not good enough for that deck. I don't think it's completely unplayable, but it's The whole point of playing a card that lives is so that you can go kill your opponent's
You can
other
kill
cards,
stuff, yeah.
but you can't go kill anything else because you can't move. So, yeah.
I mean, I love oversizes, but this is like,
This is too much.
why not
Like,
just play a 4K that's just a 4K? Why do I have two bad
it's
drawbacks?
like when it's too
500
sweet, right?
power.
Like you want something sweet, but then it's too sweet, right?
Yeah.
That's too big.
Take a spoon of the bag of sugar.
Yeah.
It's like a Mickey D's sweet tea, you know?
Damn. You're hating on the Mickey D sweet tea? Come on, man.
I'm just not really an iced tea fan in general. So.
Oh, okay, understandable.
It pairs well with your McChicken.
Yeah, that's the most easily
It
resolved
does
argument.
it does compliment a McChicken.
This is the most easily resolved argument we've ever had. It's like, oh, understandable. It's like, what do you mean you don't like the sweet tea? What do you mean? All right, next card. This is me. All right, we got Sally, JoJo's stand. All your other characters get 500 power. When this plays from hand to stage, you may choose the Oboro Awaken, which is this 5k on-play striker. In your waiting room, put it face up underneath this as a marker, and then you can ditch any card as an act to summon it to the field, and then at the end of the turn, you can throw it back under it. So it does have to live for it to not go to grave, because it says at end of turn. So this card does have to kill what's in front of it, but it is a striker. So it gives you a repeatable striker.
What's a striker again? We skipped that card.
It's just gain 500 power for every other character when it attacks.
Okay.
Yeah, so it gets up to 7k, 75 with the.
Or no, wait. This is a Shimakai. Never mind. That card's a Shimakai.
Oh, it's a Shimakai?
Yeah, that's a little oof actually.
Interesting, yeah.
Choose a Shimakai in your waiting room. Put it face up under this as your marker. So the Shimakai gives power to another character.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so.
But the Shimakai has to win its lane to go back underneath the marker. It can't die.
Discard a character from hand to waiting room.
Yeah.
Choose.
It's like the JoJo.
Okay, on play you marker the Oboro under it.
Yes.
Discard a card. Pull the Oboro out. End a turn. It can go
back. It's like the JoJo's cards.
Oh, so you can summon it from back row.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, I see. That's fine. That's like fine, right?
I don't know. I think it's a little oof that it's a Shimakai because these cards only.
You swing over their weak lane with the Shimakai, and then you pump your other thing over their big lane.
What if they don't have one, Andy? Like,
yeah, I don't think I'd run this package. Period. It's just too many cards I think to play when like. What happens when you're not using the Shimakai? Which, by the way, you still have to discard a card for.
Well,
it's just global 500 for a
global 500 on a level 1. Yeah.
Also, I guess we could just go back and just give the Shimakai like a C or whatever. Shimakais are fine. I misread that card. That's on me. But, yeah, pretty ass.
It's cool, but you know,
it's funny. It's flavorful. These are like their pets. Oboro and the syrup, the turtle, are like Sally and Maple's pets. So, like,
Syrup is my favorite character in this entire
I do
show.
love Syrup. He goes, woo!
Yeah, he goes,
he just goes,
giant lasers at people. It's
yeah, he does shoot laser beams and drop bombs off you. He's like a B-52 bomber in the show. It's flying turtle. All right, next card. Far more interesting card. Brandon, this is you.
This is me.
Yep.
All right. This one, we got Maple holding her shield to assist all characters 500 times level, and when used an ability that's an act, I think, right?
Yep. Startup is
Mhm.
act.
Choose one of your characters, give it an additional 1,000. Man.
One of the best level X's they've printed in a while.
It's kind of super good.
Yeah, that act power is
I was
super
never a
impactful.
huge fan of level assists.
So this one turns all your costless. It gives 1,000 power to all your backups, basically, and gives you extra power for tapping down your brainstorm.
Yeah, and especially if your game plan is to wall out with the Neg Soul combo, making them as big as possible is imperative there.
Being a 1/1 is good for standby decks because it helps you protect Misery, helps you protect Cocutus. having the option for 1/1 level X's. Like, what is it? Like, Overlord does the exact same thing. They have a 1/1 level X option they use to help protect their Cocytus. Card's really important for the deck.
It's like
a B-, I think.
that's a
I think the ability to
Or I think it's just a B. It's probably a B.
Oh, wow. I like the effect where you give I think that 1,000 power on act ability is really makes a card a lot more playable than it usually would be. I feel like when I play standby decks, I usually will try to get a 1/1 level assist in there because I like having the option as like an early standby target. But still, I'm surprised you guys rated it that highly. That's like.
Well, I'm sure it's coming from experience because this card ends up being really important in every build of the deck.
Yeah.
Yeah. It puts you.
I mean, like I think I mentioned this in the red video, but the fact that you can back up one lane and then put the act power buff into a different lane and then win 2 lanes off of one backup, on top of this being a level assist that comes online at level 1, is extremely powerful. I've found
it really makes the Cocytus a lot more defendable throughout the game because you can turn it on so early. And because you don't care about color, too. So you can, like, level blue and then, like, stand by red cards. Like, and, like, throw this down from hand and you don't even care.
I see. I see.
Stand buying them. You, like, set up your board so that, like, when you stand by to the front row off a trigger, like, a Misery goes in front of this. Can be pretty ridiculous. In another set, it probably wouldn't be good. But in terms of a 1/1 level X, this is, like the best.
It's pretty good, yeah.
It's really fucking good.
It's somewhere like between a B- and a C+ for me. Because, like, I consider level assist to be, like, kind of like a C-ish tier card. Just, like, you can run them. They're good sometimes. But the act power can be nice, too. Yeah.
Alright. Next. I think we already talked about this one, like, a good bit. Nobody has to dedicate their turn to it. This is the Kanade.
I honestly don't know what this is.
Okay, so this is the I'll briefly summarize because the yellow video is a while ago. This is the Kanade that gives all your Maple Nexel walls or your Atrocity Maples hexproof.
Oh yeah.
And then it also has an act ability where you ditch any 2 cards and rest this to choose a character in your waiting room with the same name as any of your characters on field and spawn it to stage directly from waiting room. So it's basically the thing that makes the Nexel Maple playable. Because if it didn't have hexproof, you'd be able to anti-change it, you'd be able to bounce it, you'd be able to do all sorts of terrible things to it. But Kanade protects her and makes it so that you only have to win 1 lane with Maple to get your Maple back out and, Nexel again. Really hand-intensive, but really important card if you decide to play Maple Nexel. We talked about this a lot in yellow, so I don't want to waste too much time on this card specifically.
Yeah, it's pretty solid in the in the Nexel deck. Yep.
Only in that deck. Well, don't play it in any other deck.
Hey, I didn't know it comboed with Giant Bug too. You can run it in your Giant Cockroach deck.
This makes Giant Bug hexproof.
Giant Bug. Yeah. Can't be money countered, I guess.
All right. This is my card this time. You're not stealing it from me again.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chibi Maple. Oh, this isn't a box topper. It's actually just a common. Usually the chibi cards are box toppers. Anyway, when this attacks, if you have 4 more other game characters, choose one of your characters, and for the turn, that character gets 2 soul. It's a nice effect, actually. Nice effect indeed. During your opponent's turn, when this gets reversed in battle, you can discard a card. If so, rest this, and then next encore step it dies.
Like a recurable 3 soul beater.
That's fine, actually.
Can help set up side attacks.
Versailles has a card like this too, where you can give soul on attack.
Lets you set up nasty
side. You have to hit a condition for that, but
I do like damage modulation. Nasty sides would win games.
And the fact that you can hand on core it and then you only needed to live 1 more turn anyway to get the extra soul pump effect again.
Yeah.
And being able to discard any card instead of just a character for the hand on core is nice.
Yeah, this card probably unironically totally fine.
Yeah.
Card is totally playable.
Yeah, two souls.
A lot
Pushing
of
damage.
souls.
Yeah.
All right, Bryant.
All right, we've got Glowing Sally, 2/1, 7,500 power. Experience on your turn. If you have 5 or more experience, it gets 6k, goes up to 13.5. When this is placed on the stage from your hand, all players perform the following action. If you have 5 or more cards in memory, choose 4 cards in your memory and keep them in your memory. Send everything else to waiting room.
This card's cute. It's memory hate and gets big.
I like that it doesn't need to be across from a level 3, but hits a similar power threshold.
Yeah.
12.5 is like the smallest you can be for these cards to be relevant. Any smaller than 12.5 and you're like not actually doing anything.
I don't know. That's kind of like a lot of. It's like a high experience. Though.
Yeah, it's a lot. You have to level a level 3 and then a level 2 minimum.
Yeah, I mean, if
hit
you're
that.
playing like the Sally finisher,
Yeah,
then
this is meant to be paired with that for sure.
Yeah, then you've already hit the experience threshold, so that makes playing this a little bit more reasonable.
I haven't played a ton with experience decks, but the only one I've really played with is Sword Art Alicization.
And that's just one card.
And I don't know. Even in that deck, it's like really frustrating.
The only deck it's not
having to like
frustrating
hit
in.
like not necessarily not getting a card in. It's not the specific card in your level, but it's the total levels of X or higher.
Yeah.
It just is like really frustrating sometimes. Like it really makes you level cards you don't want to sometimes.
It definitely
Especially if you're
does,
trying to hit
yeah.
multiple colors.
It's
But that's also because I run super greedy decks too. So
in every deck that's not Sal 10th, experience has been a pain in the ass. Notably, Adventure Time. It's like you basically have to level your fucking level 3 Finn and Jake, like, or like your deck stops functioning. In
I
most
don't know.
of your
It
builds,
just gets so awkward when you try to run like 3 colors.
yeah.
Or more colors.
Experience
with
and
the
three
high
colors
experience
is really
count.
It
difficult.
punishes you for greedy deck building for sure. You like experienced decks have to be very directed, most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
But the memory dump effect is good to have access to. For that, I'm gonna give it a C+. It is the worst memory dump.
Yeah, I feel like the
possible.
memory dump on there is like complete garbage.
But it's on a
That's-
character, so they can search it. So
Yeah, but it just doesn't do enough against the memory decks. It just doesn't do enough. This isn't memory
'Cause they
hate
get
that
to
Weiss
choose.
needs to combat memory decks.
And all their memory effects that like the things they get for memory are always if you have 4 or more memory, like Kato or Ultime or whatever. They're always
Or if you have this card or that card in your memory,
specific
and they get
card.
to choose what they keep.
Right. So
It just doesn't dump enough though.
it's
Like so if
slightly
they're building up
decompresses
like
them, yeah.
sorry, what were you saying?
Oh no, I was just saying it slightly decompresses them. Almost a negligible amount in most cases, and doesn't interrupt most decks' game plans.
Yeah, but the fact that it is 13-5 against anything, not just level 3s, is nice.
All right, are we ready to move on?
Yeah.
I see Brandon has fucked with this slide. It is not equivalent to my little Shido.
yes, it is.
It is
it's greater than. You're right.
This is a goddamn camera. It's been in every set since fucking Idolmaster when it was first printed.
But does camera force you to rest a character to use it?
Yeah.
It does not. Therefore, it's better.
Camera, pretty fucking whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
I wish they would just print cameras as torches all the fucking time. I don't know why they continue to print cameras you can't use on your opponent's turn. They're never worth playing, like, unless they're like hyper bondable in your main phase.
The Goblin Slayer torch never felt oppressive.
Yeah, but it felt usable.
Right.
It
Yeah.
felt better, but never like.
Unless you had like an extremely good bond package to a vanilla camera, would you ever play it? Like, unless you were playing like a Spice Master deck where like you needed this to like have your deck have any deck speed. I think the answer is no. Like, you never play this card normally.
Yeah, you'd need a pretty good reason to. I've run them raw before, but that's with like
really
Climax
fringe decks.
Kind of like a Union Climax combos. Like I like them with unions. where like you have to reveal the top card of your deck if it's level 1 or higher. Add it.
Well, yeah, because you can just add anything off those.
Yeah, well, I mean, it just lets you artificially increase your 1 count in
Yeah,
a sense,
yeah, that's true.
and then you can turn it into anything. But it's neither here nor there.
I'm glad Brandon is here to take Andy's spot as the camera apologist.
Oh no, I like that.
I'm not
I like it still. I
apologizing.
like the fact that it's part of a climax combo. That makes it, better than
Very-
usual. But
Makes it extraordinarily good.
Oh my
what
god,
the
Brandon,
hell?
are
I
you
like
like,
the current too. He's holding one of those like you remember those?
are
toys,
you like
those,
dead ass
like-
serious, Brandon?
I think this card's okay. I might be, and also, so I'm probably exaggerating, but I don't think it's anywhere near as bad as you seem to think it is.
I think you haven't played enough Weiss Schwarz. Gonna be honest.
Me and Brandon are on the same side. Camera's a good card.
It's a
You could
very
just
good
splash
card.
it in anything if you really wanted to.
I don't know why you wouldn't.
Well, it doesn't hit on like a lot of like mill runners or like effects that top check and like you have to reveal a character. It doesn't count as a character for
Yeah.
top checking effects.
If
It all
I
comes
get
down to
in
how the
this
deck is
argument,
built.
we'll be here in another 20 minutes.
I think it really depends on the setup. If you're doing a lot of top checking, you can't just run event. There's like an opportunity cost to running events if there's a lot of top checking.
Yeah.
I'd say if there's no consequence, like you're right. I feel like if you have things that like reveal top of deck, if it's a character, maybe you don't run it. But if you're just a normal deck that doesn't rely on top checking at all, I feel like there's no reason not to run these.
Disagree.
I know you do.
Running a card that does nothing but like mill you and doesn't provide a body, like doesn't have a place.
You just said what the good part is.
It
mills
doesn't.
you.
It doesn't have a place in a modern Weiss Schwarz
It
deck.
turns itself into
Yeah,
any
it,
other
it,
card.
it turns into something that's a body that can attack. I guess
This
as,
is the exact same thing we get on
we do,
every single time
It's big.
this
Just
card's
playing
brought
devil's
up,
advocate here, yeah.
and that's not an apt comparison. And you Magic players need to stop thinking about Magic. And the top of your deck is irrelevant. Go watch our Madoka set review if you want to.
Dude,
learn
you
about
gotta play
top of
that in
deck.
you haven't seen Encore decks, dude. Bofuri Turbo Fog Control is
Oh my God!
the way to play the
Stop
deck.
talking about. Stop talking about Dan's giant fucking. He renamed every deck on his profile to this shit.
I was laughing my ass off when he made Teamer Turbo Fog.
Yeah, it's like
That was
Teamer.
fantastic.
He like,
That is
he
pretty
like,
funny.
he like keeps jamming things up against each other. It did get pretty funny at that point. He took it to another level. But yeah, Brandon, this is like a full argument for another video where I have to sit here on my soapbox and try to change your mind.
Fine.
And then
here,
you both say at the end of it, well, we don't care, we'll run it anyway.
here, S minus. All right.
My God. You guys are both idiots.
This is like an outside sheets topic tomorrow.
It is. Yeah, it is an outside sheets topic. In the freezing cold, just like screaming. It's like, no, this card's not good. All right. Box toppers, lightning round. We got this Maple. She is on opponent's turn, all your characters can borrow your power, and when a climax is placed in your climax zone, choose one of your characters till the next end of your opponent's turn gets an additional 500 power. So it's like a smaller, only defensive married life.
It's
Yeah, pretty whatever.
okay, yeah.
Probably the best box topper. The box topper you're gonna want.
Stand and swap.
1/1 stand and swap. No other text. Can swap to and from the back row. Insane synergy with standby. Is an additional 1/1. Like you get to run 5 1/1s. You're on like 3 1/1/7/5s. 2 of this card, or like whatever fucking split you want. To be honest, card's really fucking good. 6/5 is still defensible.
Love
Yeah.
stand and swap.
Yeah, this card is exactly what you want in a standby deck, because this is where stand and swap is as destructive as it possibly can be. Like in the early turns, like 0 to 1, where like people are extending themselves to clear that one thing to like try to set you behind. You get to say nope, and you like swap out of the way. What if they try to Adachi your Cocutus, and you just go nope, and you run out of the way, and then their Adachi dies to this card because this card's a 6/5.
It is a really good standby. I think like if the set didn't have standby, I don't think.
Oh,
it
yeah.
would be any good
No,
at all.
definitely.
It would be
Yeah.
shit. It would be shit without standby.
But the fact that I think this is a really good standby target. Yeah.
Yeah, card is insane for the standby deck.
She's also got really nice flavor text.
I can't. What? I don't have Heart of the Cards up.
Okay.
We got this on play, reveal top. If it's not a game character, you got to rest this card because it's a 3K. Got to have that drawback. And then on attack, reveal top. The reveal card is a game character for the turn. It's gain 2,000 power. So as long as the card you reveal is a game character, this card is 5K on turn, 3K off turn, and otherwise it rests itself.
And it never dies. It's basically an oversize.
It's so oversized it needs a drawback.
I guess, yeah.
I mean, yeah. I mean it's a reasonable drawback.
Yeah. I don't think it's good.
No,
It's probably slightly. It's probably slightly better than garbage because it's a 3K, but like, I guess it's at least not milling like the other ones where like it's mill 2 if you hit a CX they rest. It's just revealing top, so it doesn't move the card.
I guess.
You still get the value off the trigger.
There's a lot of oversizes in your meta. This sits big, but also pumps way over your opponent's oversize.
Yes, yeah, it does.
But you would kind of have to have another level 0 like in hand to play down if this accidentally rests itself.
Hmm.
And it's just not really worth it, I don't think.
Nope. I got this Sally. It is a time machine when it gets a reverse.
At level 2.
Yep.
Yikes.
It's a 2/1 time machine. Well, you know what, Brandon? I think that I don't know what's going on, but I like that. Yeah.
My cat was standing on my keyboard.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, it's pretty whatever. Pretty shit. I don't think it's completely terrible, but all right. And I actually have the like shop promos and like shit that we'll get for Bofuri, so we can actually go over these like. Because these were on the Bushiroad site before it went up, so cool. The Bushiroad's doing that now. So on play, reveal top, or on play, you can look at top, leave it there, put it on the bottom. So scry on play, and then on attack, reveal top. If it's a game character, put it in your hand, and then ditch a card. So it's like an on attack filter with a scry on it.
Oh, it's on attack. Okay,
Yeah, it's on attack filter.
Fine.
The timing is pretty bad, but
It's
like
actually
the scry's okay.
not as bad as you'd think it'd be, actually.
Yeah, I think they're
I played
fine.
a bit with this in Idle Master. The in English, the one Rin card. Although it's like an on death scry, but it's like on attack, top check.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if you
on death scry.
If you didn't have the top check 2 rearrange, people would be playing this instead of the like that top check 2 rearrange card because it digs you into standby.
This combos nicely with the top check 2 rearrange, and it also has the scry effect, which combos with itself.
Yeah.
I think this is better than the top check 2 rearrange, actually.
And it doesn't let you
You
react.
can just scry the card away.
It doesn't let you react in the same way, which is like why the top check 2 is good. But like,
I suppose, yeah.
If you
get
didn't
always
have the
trigger
other
stand
one,
by
you had
second,
this.
but it still gives you like top of deck
Getting
control.
deja vu. Did we like talk about this like exact same comparison in like a different set with the same 2 card profiles? I swear to God,
maybe it does sound kind
yeah,
of.
Yeah, I swear we've made this exact same comparison before. If you know, let us know down in the comments. But yeah, card's fine. Last one. This is place from hand to stage, mill top 2. If there's a climax among those cards, choose any of your characters and give it 1500 power for the turn. Then on play, you can ditch a card to add a character from your clock to your hand, and then you clock yourself from top of decks. Clock filter.
It's
pretty whatever.
It's fine, I guess. Yeah.
Just a straight D for clock filter.
I'm low on clock filters.
Don't think they're great.
Yeah.
They're underrated when they're stapled to other cards, but like it's got to be pretty.
Yeah,
good
there's like another
effect.
really good effect to run with it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, well that's everything. We're done with Bofuri. What do you guys think?
I can't wait to play it.
It seems pretty solid.
Can't wait to sell you the cards, Brandon.
I mean, having played into it a little bit, it definitely has some holes, but all in all, the set feels pretty decent. I wouldn't feel bad buying into it if I were playing it.
Seems really fun and flavorful too.
It is
And
flavorful.
as far as like a spicy anti-meta tournament pick goes, depending on how the meta shapes up, I could see myself pick this up for an event if if I really valued the anti-memory, anti-bounce back to hand effect.
Yeah, the set has a lot of hate.
Yeah,
hate
the
cards,
set has a
which is
ton
really
of hate
cool.
cards.
Mhm.
Yeah, like if we're in a hypothetical meta where the entire meta is just like AOT, Konosuba, Saikano, all these decks that are running Oboro combos and go to memory and pop back to hand stuff.
They have like
I think it could
anti-memory.
be. This could be a really fun deck to pick up and play.
Anti-memory, anti-pop back, level down, neg soul off event, 1/1 stand and swap. What else we have? Mill bottom 5 counter. What else?
I could totally see myself playing this in English. I've actually become a real big fan of the Cocutus engine in Overlord, and knowing that they have that really nice engine with all these really cool tech cards too.
Oh, stock swap. They also have stock swap. Yeah.
I might maybe I'll pick this up when it comes to English. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean better than average Cocutus with the option to run 8 standby is pretty solid.
Yeah, Cocutus, the big thing holding Overlord back in general was that it only had 1 standby trigger. It was a deck that really wanted a second standby trigger.
It seems like it fixes most of the issues that Overlord kind of had it if you want to run that strategy. And then it also has really nice tech cards.
It makes it so you don't have to sculpt or go so hard into trying to get your Cocutus on the board as fast as possible because you can only really get 1 because you only have 4 standby triggers. With this, you just play a normal 8 standby game plan and shit out Cocutus after Cocutus. And you'll win lanes eventually.
You just don't get the attack immediately unless you're running that combo.
Yeah.
That you didn't like.
But even then, you have so much other stuff you can do. You don't have to be as laser focused. You're gonna play standby, and they have a bunch of other cards
it's not as all in. You get the same payoff, but you don't have to. You can actually
go crazy.
You don't have to go all in on it.
I do think after we've looked at blue now that there's probably an 8 pants deck that leverages the Bofuri's really good 0-1 better than Pants Choice does. That
possibly, yeah.
That instead of actually going for Icy Tail, you probably still just play 2 Icy Tails or 2 or 3 Icy Tails, and then you go really hard into that yellow cancel burn package at the top, and you play the whole game to do that. And you'll probably have enough resources to do there because up until the Maple turn with Pants Choice, you're doing totally fine. It's after the Maple turn that things can start to fall apart. You don't really rip into a lot more climaxes, which is I guess any neg soul strategy. It's naturally pretty fragile, in general, which is why I typically don't like them.
So this set's out in Japanese currently. It came out earlier this month. When's it come out in English again?
I don't think we have a date yet.
We do not have a date.
No date yet, but it has been announced.
I'd guess May-ish, probably May or June. Sounds about right.
Mm-hmm. May or June. I think it'll come out right after Kaguya, and Kaguya's probably April at this rate.
You think Kaguya's first?
Based on how they did they announce it after Kaguya?
Yeah, I mean, what's still left to come to English? We have Heaven's Fate 2, Fate, and Fate, Kaguya, and Bofuri.
Yeah.
Man, I gotta say, big ups to Bushiroad. They've really been making fun and interesting sets that are also powerful lately. From all the reveals we've been seeing for Kaguya, for Bofuri, Mob Psycho, Adventure Time, this stuff is all super fun and unique, but also powerful enough that you would consider picking it up and playing it.
Yeah.
So I big complaint. I think they've got so much negative feedback from surveys and stuff over time, probably saying look at something like English Cardcaptor Sakura, right? It's boring and bad.
Well, that set turned out to be fine.
whatever.
the
Right?
Batman Ninja is boring and bad. Cardcaptor
love-
Sakura
we
is
love-
just
we
like
love-
Card Captor's fine. But people were kind of like, I think that people were really pissed off when they printed the Japanese version of it and had like really flavorful fun effects.
I think
Yeah.
that's what helped people. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
But I guess that leads into like upcoming content. I guess the next thing you guys will probably see is Mob Psycho at this rate. We're going to try to be on that as quickly as possible, same as we were with Adventure Time. By the time this stuff goes up, I'll have out the Summer Pockets Roundtable Deep Dive, whatever you want to call it. Nico and I will have published our findings on the set. And then other set reviews down the line, Heaven's Feel and Kaguya will be set reviewed as soon as we can like pull and create slideshows for them and have them ready to go and put together guests or whoever wants to be on them. But those are all in the pipeline. Mob Psycho, then probably Heaven's Feel after that, then Kaguya after that is like our through line at current time for set reviews.
Eventually, we'll run out of sets to review.
Nah, they'll just keep making more. You see that, Brandon? You want to do a Aprilia set review? It's an extra booster. There's only
The new Aprilia set,
there's
yeah.
only 41 cards to go over, or no, there's only 31 cards to go over because 9 of them are reprints.
That's fine. I'd do that.
And then you rate them on cuteness of art.
Oh,
on effect, right?
Yeah. It's all based on art. I don't care what the
Everything's like
effects
an
are.
A tier plus,
Yeah,
right?
it's like S
How about
plus.
like a power scale and a cuteness scale?
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I think that's it. Anybody got anything else?
When are we gonna make our content video where we rate all of our Revue Starlight waifus and we get Mammoths on here?
That's just
Oh,
a you
coming,
and
coming soon.
I'll tell you this, Andy. You and Matt can record that whenever you want, and you send me the video, and I'll upload it.
Oh my god. You're just encouraging.
You sure?
Carmen.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Do whatever you guys want, as long as it's appropriate. I'll upload it. All right. And anything else from anyone? No. Okay. Pittsburgh Weiss Schwarz signing off. We'll see you guys in the next one.